So my name is Ashish Adhikari. I am the Joint Secretary of the Robotics Society at Punjab Engineering College, and so today we are going to have the workshop on understanding the artificial intelligence and the machine learning. And during this session, you will get to know what is machine learning, what is artificial intelligence, and in the same way, you will also get to understand that why we are using the machine learning, why not the traditional coding thing. So why machine learning? What does the machine learning have that unique features that stand out from others? All right. So okay, let me start. So taking a look back, the technology is advancing faster and taking less time to widely adapt than ever before. Like as it took roughly around 10,000 years. Okay, 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 fine. So like it took 10,000 years from writing to the printing press. All right, but it only took 500 years to go from printing press to emails. So technology is moving faster, and now it seems like that we are at the dawn of a new age, the age of the AI. So how you define the artificial intelligence? So artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science dealing with the simulation of intelligent behaviors in the computers. All right. So going back to the history, like during the World War, the first computer was invented. Like from where the concept of artificial intelligence generated. So I'm going to talk about this thing, right? Okay. So during the first World War, Second World War, the computer was invented that can crack the German code communication code. It's called Enigma, and the father behind this machine is Alan Turing, and he wrote a paper. He wrote a paper like computing machinery and intelligence in 1950, and the paper opens the words the word sorry okay, so this thing okay, so sorry these are the things that we're going to cover during this session, like first introduction and history of AI, ML introduction and history, and some example DL introduction and demonstration. I'll show you the demonstration as well, and ML algorithm. So we'll go to the surfacely. I'm not going to do in depth to the supervised learning and unsupervised learning. I'm just going the surface view of them, and then the framework like scikit-learn, tensorflow, keras, and the study materials and resources from where you want to study the machine learning and AI. Okay, so moving on, as I told you, the machine was invented by the Alan Turing during the World War II, which can crack the German communication code, and it's called the Enigma. And this Alan Turing wrote a paper called "Computing Machinery and Intelligence" in 1950, and the paper opens the words, "I propose to consider the question: Can machine think?" And well, today, inspired by these thoughtful questions, we'll try to answer how we can create the intelligent computer. All right. So, AI has been growing exponentially in the past decades. It has already been touching our lives. You may not notice. Even every time you go to the Google search, some kind of AI is being used in the for best results. Every time you ask Siri a questions, like natural language processing and the speech recognition is being used. Uh, and then AI will probably be the biggest scientific breakthroughs in the 21st century. It will give us the power to probe the universe and our humanity with a different approach. AI has the potential for of like forever changing our humanity, and the backbone of the AI is machine learning. And like how you define the machine learning. Okay, so it's a bit difficult to narrow down one specific definition of the machine learning, because you will get a different explanation from the different people. Like it depends upon whom you ask, right? So I have listed down the some of the definition given by the Nvidia, McKinsey and Company, Stanford, Arthur Samuel and Tom Mitchell. So you can go through that, and simple definition will be stand for like the science of getting computers to act without being explicitly programmed. So you don't have to program explicitly for the each and every task that is done by the machine learning, right? So that was the Stanford explain the machine learning. So what I personally appreciate the definition by the Tom Mitchell. So what he explained the machine learning is a computer program is said to learn from experience E. So it get learned from the experience E with respect to some task T and some performance measure P if its performance on T is measured by P improves with the experience E. So as you this definition will definitely make sense when you start learning the machine learning, how it works, what this experience thing mean. Like the machine learning, it generally recognize the pattern from the data, and it get better and better after the experience, right? Like the human being, like we. Okay, so regardless of the definition you choose, its a basic level, the goal of machine learning is to adapt to a new data independently and make a decisions and recommendations based on that, based on the thousands of calculation analysis. All right. So it's done by infusing the artificial intelligence machines or deep learning business applications from data they are fed. Machine learning models learn, identify patterns, and make decisions with minimal intervention of the from humans. Ideally, the machines increase the accuracy and efficiency and remove or greatly reduce the possibility of human error. So you got my point right over here. Like the this thing data independently and make a decisions and recommendations based on the thousands of calculation and analysis. So this basically means is like the machine learning, it learns from the data, it learns from the enormous amount of data, and after it get trained, after we get the final output like of the model, then it can even predict the output for the unseen data as well. Okay, so that's what the beauty of the machine learning is. And talking about the difference between artificial intelligence and the machine learning, so what I will say is artificial intelligence is just the science of mimicking the human abilities. Like whatever the human can do, the artificial intelligence wants to mimic that. Okay, it doesn't there's a total misconception around the society that the artificial will rule over the human being and all of that thing, right? So that's completely incorrect, because the artificial intelligence is nothing but mimicking us, like mimicking our brain, mimicking our activities. That's what the artificial intelligence is. So it will never and never will rule over the human beings. And machine learning, what I'll say is machine learning is a specific subset of AI that trains a machine how to learn. So it is a subset of AI that finds the pattern inside the data. It will helps to train the machine how to learn. That's what the machine learning is, and I hope the difference is clear to you. Similarly, moving on, like a few evolution of the machine learning, I like to talk about the evolution of machine learning. So because the new computing technologies, the machine learning today is not like the machine learning of the past. Okay, so it was born from the pattern recognition and theory. Okay, it was born from the pattern recognition and the theory that computers can learn without being programmed to the perform specific task. So what you do in a typical this thing coding, like you have to do the explicit program for the each and every task, right? But in the machine learning, you don't do the explicit program for the each and every task. So okay, so you fed the enormous amount of data, and from the data the machine learning try to find the pattern, and based on that pattern it will predict the output of the unseen data or the unseen input. Okay, and now the researchers interested in the artificial intelligence wanted to see if the computer could learn from the data, and the irrespective aspect of the machine learning is important because सोलह जाने जाने लगे सोलह जाने लगे
कति बारे थियो क्या
एग्जाम त होइन क्लास लिइरहेको थियो
ए त्यसको
धारण कि त्यति नै बस्नु अरे
अस्ति मेरो एटिएम चाहिँ छ
इटिएममा हुँदैन
पर्सको कहाँ
खोइ चेक गर्नुपर्छ दाइ आउनु छ कि
पर्सको एटिएम हो
सॉरी गाइस, मैं कहाँ पे था, मतलब जब मेरा ये कनेक्शन टूट गया यार बता रहा।
Sir, enormous amount of data.
ये तो मैं हर बार बोल ही रहा हूँ। ओके, ठीक है, फिर मैं एवोल्यूशन ऑफ मशीन लर्निंग मैंने बताया था उस टाइम पे।
पैटर्न रिकग्निशन सर।
हाँ हाँ जी।
पैटर्न रिकग्निशन।
ओके ठीक है, फिर मैं ओके पैटर्न रिकॉग्निशन। Okay, so did I mention the difference between machine learning and artificial intelligence?
Yes sir।
Okay, fine then.
Yes sir।
Okay, so okay then pattern. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so I like to talk about the evolution of machine learning, right? So how the machine learning got evolved. Like it was not the machine learning today, like what you heard about the machine learning. So previously, it was from the pattern recognition and the theory that computers can learn without being programmed to the specific task. Like what we do in the traditional like coding thing, that we explicitly program for each and every task. So but we don't do that thing in the machine learning. So we train the machine learning, we train the computer based on the enormous amount of data, and based on that data we'll get the model that can predict the output for the unseen data as well. So based on the data we fed during the training, the machine learning tries to find the pattern inside the data, and based on that pattern it will try to predict the output for the unseen data, the unseen input. Okay, and okay, then while many computer machine learning algorithms have been around for a long time, the ability to automatically apply the complex mathematical calculation to the big data over and over, faster and faster, is a recent development. So this is the recent. The machine learning is not a recent development, or not a recent concept, but the big data and the faster and faster the algorithm is a recent development. And here like I like to show the few the examples of the machine learning that you might heard about, like this Google self-driving car, and the online recommendation offer from the Amazon and Netflix. Okay, and then there is this thing Twitter, like knowing what customers are saying about you on the Twitters, and then fraud detections. Okay, so this is the one of the most obvious and important use in the today's world, right? So as I already talked about, that we fed enormous amount of data. So machine learning is all about data. Like if you have the right amount of data and right amount of algorithm, then you will get the perfect like model that can predict that can find the pattern inside the data and predict the output for unseen data. So I have to mention this, like the Google has 10 to 15 exabyte data right now. So it might vary, like they might have more than this. So the one you can see the figures, like if you want to convert a exabyte into the terabyte and the gigabyte, so that much data they have. So because of this enormous amount of data, they can do the projects on speech recognition and the language translations, right? So Google has a tons of like the applications. You might if you know that there is the app called the Google Translation in the Google Play Store. So it will basically translate the language between the language of the countries. But the thing is, the Google translation is not like a new. So they already did the Google translation way uh, years ago, right? But what's new is like they are much faster and much efficient. Okay, and how you like the example of machine learning is, so you have a training input, and you pass the training input into the learning algorithm, and based on that learning algorithm we'll get the model. And after we get the model, then the user input is passed to that model. The user input is the new data, the unseen data, passed to the model, and we'll get the output.